Hello and good morning. I'm going to talk to you about the walking tall system, something that a lot of you have been wanting to know. There are a lot of questions, there are lots of queries that you need to be answered. So I'm going to take you over the next 10 to 15 minutes in talking to you about what this walking tall system is, how it works, and how you can benefit by being a part of it. I'd like to start with a famous quotation from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. He said that a journey to 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, isn't that so profound and isn't that so true? Anything, everything that we do in life has to begin. It has to begin somewhere. You need to take that first step. So, whether you want to become successful in your career or if you want to become successful in your relationship or successful in an investment opportunity, it's the first step that you need to take. That first step is well begun, and well begun is half done. And that's exactly the philosophy that works pretty much perfectly everywhere in life. So, talking about the walking tall system, you see, if you think about it, everything that we are doing in our day-to-day life, every single day, we are following a process. We may call it a method. We may also call it a standard operating procedure. It doesn't matter. But right, let's say from the time you get up in the morning, there are certain activities that you will go through. That's a process. Before you go out to work, you will have a bath, you will take a shower, you will brush your teeth, so on and so forth. And that's a process. That's a method of doing it. Talk about schooling. Let's say if you had to go to school, you can't go to the 10th standard directly. You will have to go to standard 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the process. Talk about driving a bike, driving a car or riding a bike. How does it happen? You have to first learn. You get a learner's license, then you have to wait for some time, and then you get a permanent license, and then you're able to drive. But even within the driving activity, there will be things that you need to learn: how to shift the gears, how to put the acceleration, when to put the brakes. Everything's a process, right? Operating a computer, any other machinery, there is a process for everything that we do. And for investments also, accordingly, there's a process. And you see, time and again, it has been established that every time you follow a procedure of standard operating procedure, a process or a system or a method, the probability of success shoots up through the roof and it becomes as much as 100%. And that's exactly how you achieve things in life. So you see, in the current state of affairs, let's say talking about financial management, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of options and opportunities that you have in terms of doing various financial programs. Now, all these programs are great, but what do all these programs talk about? How do you invest? Where do you invest? Where's the next opportunity? How do you identify the opportunity? How do you get ahead in life? So on and so forth. Those are all great, fantastic, and they follow a basic premise that to be able to make money out of your investments, you need to have the money to start out with, right? Money makes money. Paisa paise ko khichta hai. So there is no disputing that fact. But I have a fundamental question to ask. Where do you get that money from? How do you first initially start your journey? How do you first initially put together that initial surplus or initial investment corpus? Now, think about it this way. It's a question to consider, right? If I told you that here are 5 options, you invest your money and you will make 30% and 40%, will it really work out? Yes, it will. But provided there is an inherent assumption in that, provided you have the seed money, you have the starting capital. If you did not have the starting capital, how will you create your castles? It's not possible. I mean, it's impractical, right? Which is why here's a system that even enables you to generate that initial money, generate that basic money. So once you start with that basic money, once you identify where it is and you are able to do it on an ongoing basis, then would that not become a very easy and a straightforward solution in terms of here's your money, now let's go and invest and let's make money and let's multiply it, let's add to it, then again we multiply to it, so on and so forth. So you might think, why have we created this system and why are we calling it the walking tall system? I like the whole idea of this word walking tall. It's got such a brilliant vibration to it. You stand tall, you walk tall. Right from childhood, we are told, look up and walk straight. Don't look down. Don't slouch. Put your shoulders back. Take a deep breath. and you walk confidently, whether you're talking in public or whether you're interacting at home with your friends and family and relatives, or whether you're into your career and you're talking to your bosses, or you're talking to other colleagues in your company, or if it's your business and you're talking to your employees. It's all about confidence. Walking tall is confidence. So how do you do that? When you walk tall, you have a tonality, you have a body posture, you feel good about yourself, you feel that there is an overall well-being about your existence, and that is how you feel confident about yourself. Because otherwise, what's the greatest worry in this world? Amongst other things, financial insecurity, as told by Google, and you can check that out, is the second largest source of uh, anxiety or insecurity, if you like, financial worries or financial insecurities. So it's obvious, right? If you had the money, life would be easy. If you had the money, you would work for pleasure. If you had the money, you would make better investment decisions, better performance decisions, better work decisions. Uh, you may even be able to resign. You may even be able to choose the kind of work that you want to do or the business that you want to do. There is basically no pressure of any sort. And that's what we're trying to bring on the table to you. So with money, you stand tall. With savings, you feel confident about yourself. If you are in the middle age, 30, 40, maybe 45, in your early 50s also, you might think that I don't have enough money. You might have money and you may think that you don't have enough money. Or the situation could be that you just don't have money. Either ways, the feeling of insecurity and the feeling of anxiety is absolutely the same. There is no difference. So, you see, uh, if I could put a few pieces of this whole life together, if I could put a few pieces of this money management together, it might just make a big deal, a big difference to your life. It might be a big deal to your life, and which is what we are trying to do with this walking tall system. As you can see on your screen, there are 7 components to this system. And why do you really need a system? Let's talk about that first. I'm going to take you through all these 7, quite succinctly. But why do you really need to do this? Because see, in today's world, here's the screen, and this is the answer for you. What is happening is, what these little abbreviations stand for, by the way, is E stands for execution, B and M stands for behavior and mindset, and K stands for the knowledge, right? Now, what we are trying to do, and what every program tries to do, and what we endeavor to do every day of our lives, is that let me find a good investment opportunity. I've got this 10,000 or I've got this 100,000, and let me make advantage of that. We're focusing on execution. We want somebody to tell us this mutual fund is great or this stock is going to go up 30%. We want to only execute a trade. You see, we might even do that. Whether we will be successful or not is a separate story. What would ensure that success? That whatever investment decision you take, you know that this is a good decision, and you know that you will make money, you know you will profit, you know your life will change, so on and so forth again. So our focus, therefore, there is on execution only. My suggestion to you is think about it differently. Completely defocus from execution. Let's make execution just about 2% of the job. How do you do that, and why do you do that? You have enough information. We live in an information age. There is no dearth of information available to you. You open the television, there is unlimited supply of ideas to you. You look at various blogs, etc., that you see on the web. You look at YouTube channel, you'll find tons of information there. You can attend talks and you will find information. There are lots of free information, free seminars that are happening. There is a ton of information that you can find purely from the execution point of view. But you see, we forget that execution will be successful if the base of our life is okay, the base of our investment philosophy is okay. So behavior mindset, to my mind, is 49%. The knowledge that this is a good way to proceed is priceless. That knowledge, therefore, becomes 49%. And if you could sort of make 98% of your reliance on these 2 aspects of your life, which is the behavior and mindset and your knowledge about financial management, execution, there are thousands of people to do that. There are innumerable wealth firms to do that. There are countless brokers who can help you in doing all of this, right? So having said that, let's come back to the system and let's again focus a little bit more. I'm going to take you down across the various sections of this walking tall system. The next thing that happens is, like I mentioned a while ago, how do you create that initial money? And that's wealth planning. We call it e-plan. How do you have that basic seed capital to start out with? It might be interesting to know that probably half the things that you're doing may be irrelevant. Half the things that you are spending money on may not be necessary. A famous American banker once said, if you take the waste out of your spending, you can actually eliminate the haste out of life. Think about your life. Life is so fast, especially for people living in mega cities and metro cities around the world, whether it's Mumbai or Bangkok or New York or London, is the same. There is struggle every day of life. Every part of life is a challenge. Why? Because of a lot of reasons, but the financial anxiety or the financial worry is our focus, right? So if that part could be sorted out, and if the World Psychological Institute say that financial insecurity is the second largest problem in the world, so then I think this requires a lot of focus and a lot of attention. And that doesn't mean you have to spend endless hours doing this thing. It's just a matter of maybe an hour or two. It's so easy. In about 2 hours, maximum 3 hours, you could actually plan your entire life. And 3 hours are of 365 days of your life. Once a year, that's all I'm saying, 2 to 3 hours once in a whole year could set you on this path to making your millions and billions and make yourself a life of peace and prosperity. So wealth planning. Now, what does wealth planning mean? What will we exactly do with you, and what will we exactly show you? We give you a subscription to this system. It's free. It's forever. All right. Here, you as you can see from your screen, you put in things like your income, you put in things like your expenses, and you might be surprised that at the end of the day, there are so many things that we spend on and we don't really think. So we've given you an exhaustive list. You can add your own as well. And what this will do is, at the end of it, this will tell you that out of the 100 rupees that you earn, what are you spending and what are you spending it on? What can you eliminate and what can you sort of extract? If you are able to extract a good 20, 30, 40% out of your money, and I guarantee you, I bet you, everybody can at least put away 5 to 10%. More is welcome, but that much is possible. So which means every person can start their journey. It's not impossible. It's really straightforward. You do this, then we take you to another very interesting area of your life, which is we identify where are the areas that we want to spend money on. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What are your needs? What are your responsibilities? Whatever those be, we put them all down. We're not talking about compromising in life. We're just talking about making sure that whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're dreaming about, and if you're remembering your dreams, and if you want to see your dreams in broad daylight, if you want to see those dreams come true, then let's write them down. And once we write them down, we'll figure out a way to reach that. We will create a roadmap to do that. And how much time did I say this will take? 2 to 3 hours in the whole year. That's all. Once a year. Once a year, because you need to review it from time to time, right? So that's what we are talking about. Now, let's go to the next part of the system. Okay, what's the next part of the system? Very interesting again. You need to, before you even start some investments, there is a fair bit of risk management that we want to do. And from the Indian sense, it's called SS. We call it Sampurna Suraksha. Basically, you're taking care of your life, your assets, your health, whatever risks you run in life. You're walking on the road, you might slip, you might fall down, you might break a bone, or you might get seriously injured, maybe hospitalization, something could happen to life. We're living in a situation where we're seeing pandemic all around us. There are so many risks that we have. We have our property, we park our car on the road. Somebody could just come and, some bad driver just come and, damage our car in some sense. So there's so many risks that we run, right? Why do we have to protect these risks? Because if these risks are left unprotected, at some point of time, if we had to spend money for this, everything that we've planned gets pushed away. The priority is only on that risk management, because it has to be fixed. If something happens to health, if something happens to your car, if something happens to your bike, or something happens to your office, or something happens to your home, what will happen? You have to deploy all resources there, cancel everything else. That is automatically becoming priority, which is why not take care of it so that it's on autopilot, it works on its own, and you never have to worry about it. Once that is done, and then we move on to the world of investments. So we move on to the various areas that you do. Now, like I said, there is a plethora of information. You need to know what's the right path for you. End of story. That's all. Now, you can't possibly become an expert in investing in mutual funds or stock market or commodities or insurance products. You can't just do that overnight. It takes many, many years of experience. 30 years of the financial markets, and I still feel I'm learning something every day. So it's not that straightforward. But what's the advantage that you have? There are 1,000 people doing it. So what happens when you, for example, go to buy a shirt? You go into 2 or 3 shops. These days we go to Amazon, but in Amazon there are at least a range of 20 choices that we have and 20 different brands that we can choose from, right? And we evaluate those brands, we make our decisions, we look at 2, 3 things. Think about it physically. When you go down on this high street and if you're walking, you will go into 2, 3 shops just to get a feel of exactly what are the average prices for whatever you want to buy. I'm talking about doing something similar. You need to know what is right and you need to know how is it going to help you. That's about it. And then over a period of time, learning will grow. Your experience will grow. But right now, what's important at the most basic level is to have that knowledge of what's good. And which is why, I talked about why your knowledge needs to be at 49%. We then move on to other things like how do you do reviews and how do you do upgrades? Very simple. So every year you need to be able to have an extra budget. How will that happen? We'll show you. Okay. You need to review it. Like I said, it takes not more than 2 or 3 hours, but those 2 or 3 hours are absolutely priceless. How do you do it? Perhaps with your family, perhaps with your spouse. If you have grown-up kids, maybe they can be involved in the process as well. And that's how we do our review and upgrade. While this all might sound really boring, but you see, at the end of 10 years, when you tell your friend, I started a system, and basically because of this system, today, my wealth where I started was at about 30,000, and today I'm sitting on 25 lakhs. It's going to feel very, very sweet. It's going to feel fabulous. It's going to sound awesome, not to the other person, but to your own self. And you see, just think about it. By the time we become approximately, let's say, 40 years of age or 45 years of age, um, think about it. If you're at 40 and you don't even have 40, I'm talking in terms of 40 lakhs or 4 million, in terms of investments, not your house, not your place of work if you're a business owner, think about it, how good you will feel. Because if you don't have that, then there is a problem. And the problem is that till the time you are mid-age or 40 or 50, you don't realize that there is a problem. And when you're actually at that age of 40, 45, and the problem becomes large and is staring at your face, you fox. And that also contributes to midlife crisis, doesn't it? So why not start early, do things smarter and better, and make sure that by the time we reach midlife, we're fine. Now, if you're already there, how does that happen? Then maybe you have 10, 15 years, 20 years to sort of retire. I remember when I was about 20 years old, I used to think I'll retire by 40. Now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing every day. So I am, in that sense, working for the passion of working. But if you are 40 and 45, you've got 10 or 15 years to do things. So better late than never. Let's start it. And perhaps your retirement age has got pushed from, your dream of 45 to maybe 55 or maybe 60. But then there is a lot of life even left after that, right? And medical science tells us that we're going to live even longer than what our ancestors did. And coming to the last area of this walking tall system, it's called will and black box. You all understand what a will is, right? All I want to say at this stage is it's essential that you make an asset, you make a will. Why? It's very complicated, so on and so forth. You learn all of this in even the video programs that we sort of support you with. I want to quickly tell you about what these 12 sessions and what are the bonuses that we are putting in as a part of this walking tall system. So I spoke about how cash flows and budgeting will happen. And again, for your reference, I'll just show it to you for the sake of completeness. So here's your cash flows and your goals, etc., that you put down together. And that's how you'll start making your millions and billions. At least that's the way you'll start doing your journey to that destination. We spoke about risk management. There's something very interesting. You need to know what your wealth personality is. If I asked you, what sort of a person are you? How would you exactly tell me? How would you sort of explain that to me? You'll say I'm, extrovert or introvert, or I'm jovial, and I have a good sense of humor. I mean, think of it as job interview, right? What would you do in all that kind of a scenario? But wait a minute, there is something called wealth personality. How do you exactly operate with money, right? Now, there are a handful of questions that we'll ask you to go through. And at the end of it, there will be a detailed analysis of exactly how you are going to work at this point in time. We'll give this thing to you so that you can do it again and again. You can do it with your family. You can do it with your friends. And, you know, what this helps you is in taking better decisions. Okay. Moving on to the risk profile assessment. Now, a lot of assessments say, are you aggressive? Are you, balanced? Are you conservative? But look, the fact is what I've observed in the years is it keeps changing. It changes from time to time. It changes from a situation to situation. As you sort of move along your life and as your financial status changes, these things change. So why not sort of address that and have something by which you keep doing this thing again and again? And here is another piece of software that we give you access to. What this software will do for you is that it will exactly tell you what your what should be your risk profiling and how would you would go about doing it, and how would you sort of let me just log into this again, because I think I've been just logged out of this system. Just give me a minute. All right, so here it is. We've logged into the system. This is what it is, and I'm going to show you what this report looks like. It's great. Again, it gives you a lot of insight into how you would react to different situations of the market. You would react to different situations of your surplus at a point in time. How are you standing vis-a-vis people in your same support group? So this is a company who's done a lot of data mining and a lot of data research and things like that. So it tells you what is your score. It's beautiful. You can play with it, and you can sort of store your report. You can do it again and again. There's a lot of things that you can do. Again, there is a set of questions that you'll answer. How much will this take? Maybe this will take about half an hour to an hour to do. And we will make you do this in the 12 support sessions that we're talking about. So, it's going to happen. You will have it with you, and you'll be able to make the most out of the Walking Tall system. Let me move on to some of the bonuses that we want to give you. Bonuses are a part of life. So the e-plan system, where you do your cash flows, etc. I told you about it. Let me tell you about Freedom Quest. This is the part that builds your 98%. This is beautiful because this will exactly show you everything that you need to know about money. How do you manage money? What are you going to do with money? You can see, by the way, you can see a lot of previews of all these, sessions that we have on YouTube. Over a period of time, you will see that, for each day that we have, we'll keep putting up a preview of this thing. Now, how does this thing work? Okay, it's very simple. There is a course that we've made. It's a 30-day video course. It's called the Freedom Quest. This Freedom Quest works over 30 days, stays with you lifelong, so you can keep seeing the videos as many times as you want. It's available in English and Hindi. And as you can see, there are a lot of things that we're trying to address here. The psychological aspects, how do you sort of, some concepts of beating inflation. Now, each video is about anywhere in the range of 10 to 20 minutes. So this is not like a long video. You can sort of listen to this video while you're traveling. You can do whatever, while you're watching something else. And if you're, sitting free for a little while, you can take a break from that and you can come down. It's only 10, 15 minutes, but the learnings are great. And then it also gives you a little bit of homework to do, which again takes 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not like an awful lot, but it just talks about all the behavioral changes that you need to do, all the mindset that you need to have. Where do you need to focus on? Like I said, how do you need to focus on? And you can watch a lot of these previews on YouTube. All right. It also talks about some very, very interesting things like, what are the powerful habits that you can develop? It also talks about, how you can make your own money code. So everyone's got their own philosophy. If you talk to a fund manager, he will say that this is my buying methodology. Like I said, everything works on a system, everything works on a process. So if you had to make your millions, and if you had to become, let's say, a millionaire or billionaire or crorepati, you would need to have your own money code, right? Now, how do you do that? This day 26 is going to talk to you about how do you actually make your own little money code. So in that sense, we've got a whole raft of information for you. Blackbox is like a device which helps you store information. A lot of times, when we manage money, we are the ones who are taking care of it, let's say, or maybe our fathers are doing it, or maybe our brothers are doing it. But very often, How do you have information to that if you needed to have that information in case that person was not available? The person going away is a completely disastrous situation. If the person passes away, God forbid, then you're really stuck, and a lot of families do get stuck. So in a situation like that, what would you do? But let's say if the person is traveling, not accessible, and even from a complete point of empowerment, if you wanted to know what you have, where you stand, the black box is like a fabulous tool which helps you do just that exactly. In addition to that, what's the sort of investment that we are asking you to make? It's a 30,000 investment which we are asking you to do. And why is that? Because there's going to be a guided support. So you have, what are the things that you have? Let's sort of recount them again, right? You have a lifetime access to a system. You can keep planning your life, like I said, 2 or 3 hours in a day. You have lifetime access to Freedom Quest, which is 30 episodes of uh, pure money management, no jargon, no technical words, simple stuff to help you build your basic knowledge. Like I said, you're not going to become an expert on how to pick a mutual fund. That we will cover in our 12 sessions, where we'll even give you an insight on how you pick and choose things. But you have the whole access to the Freedom Quest for 30 days. Every day, one video will keep opening, but you can use it for your life. Once your 30 days are over, then you can go to whichever video you want, just click on it and it'll play. You can, of course, share that with your family as well. Financial Black Box, I think especially women, they will love it. If you're a man, your wife would love it, your mother would love it, your sister would love to know this kind of information. She can use this facility. You can share that. There's no problem. There are free courses that we keep putting on our website called Transcend Financial Freedom. You can keep accessing those as well. And you see, all in all, what we've tried to do is we've tried to put everything together so that there is a method in which you will first keep generating that money, do that on an ongoing basis, because that's basic common sense, right? If you had 10,000 today, every month, by the end of the year, you'd have 1,20,000. Now, that is the money that you have deployed. That is the money that you have invested. That will do something. It will be a plus, minus, depending on what sort of investment you do. Doesn't matter. But you have deployed something. The next year, the same thing repeats. But next year, you don't invest 10,000 a month, you maybe, let's say, move on to 12,000 a month, and that works out to 1,44,000 by the end of the year. So what have you deployed? 120 plus 144, 264, and like that, every year you keep building it up. Within about a few years, you will see yourself that you are touching the 7 figures and probably 8 figures also. So it depends on what you're starting with, and then what sort of knowledge that you have, and then you can employ people. Then you can hire services of brokers or banks, and there is everyone who is willing to help you. There will be people who are willing to help you, right from investing 5,000 rupees to people who are willing to help you to invest 25 lakhs in one shot. So there is all sorts of people available at various price points. There is enormous supply of these people. And the best part is everything's online, so you don't even have to move a finger, you don't even have to move anywhere. So those kind of opportunities and bonuses are there for you to take advantage of. We wanted to do something even special for you, for anybody and everyone who's going to be interested in joining the Walking Tall system. Now this system, like I said, it has 12 sessions, right? Now in these 12 sessions, what's happening is you could join at any point of time. It's all right, because these sessions, while everything is kind of a capsule, it's connected, it's also disjoint. We've made it modular. So for example, if you join from session number 3, it's okay. Your sequence or your cycle will happen from session number 3 up to 12, and then 1 and 2. And that's how you'll complete your 12. Now, at some point in time, if you feel you want to go through it again, be my guest. I mean, by all means, with pleasure, we'll take you through the whole system again. There's no problem, because we're doing it online anyways, and you're most welcome to join once again if you like, or maybe 2 times if you like, if you still want to have more insights, and if you have more questions that you need answers for. There is going to be a support of somebody that you could just pick up the phone and talk to, which is going to be there for as long as you want. Right? Now, let's talk about what's the best part of the system, okay? So we're asking you to invest 30,000 for learning for yourself, right? Now, because this is money management, we have this real advantage of making it extremely tangible for you. We can actually show you that you invested this money in this program, and based on what we've taught you, and based on the things that we've asked you to do, we will make certain investments with you together. We will show you exactly, of course, you'll need money for that, and we'll produce that money, right? So we will show you a method by which the investment that you made in the program can be retrieved back. Now that retrieval could happen in a month, it could happen in 3 months time, it could happen in a year's time, depending on how much is your starting corpus, right? So I keep going back to that word, starting corpus. That's the most essential thing. Once you have your starting corpus in place, then life just becomes really smooth and easy. So my 7 bonuses, like I mentioned, was worth 75. And if I even do something by which I guide you through an investment process through my team, what happens is your 30,000 of the investment cost in this program is automatically retrieved back. And here's my guarantee. We will stay with you till the time you have earned this 30,000. We want you to make sure that you recover, because only then will you really see the power of this system. And not only that, they will be happy to recommend it to your friends and family also to be a part of this particular system. And there's nothing like learning, right? So that's what I really wanted to talk to you all about. Think about it. It's a great way to begin your investment journey. And once you've started this investment journey, then there's no looking back, because the knowledge that you've picked up once will stay with you forever. And this knowledge, again and again, I'm stressing, I'm telling you again, it's not technical, it's not complicated, it's jargon free. I need to know that out of the 28 options available, 28 is an example, out of the 28 examples available for investment, what are the good ones and what are not so good ones based on your age, your circumstances, your priorities, your needs, and your goals. You need to just know that much. And then to execute, there are lots of people available. So my urgent request to you is that get into this mode, get into the mode of making this money, get into the walking tall system, and I guarantee you, you will not regret your decision. You will make that money. We will make you retrieve it. And if you have any further questions, you can go to YouTube, you can post it there. We have a Facebook page called Transcend Wealth Management. You could post your queries there. For all the participants of the Walking Tall system, we are going to anyways have question answers, which as far as possible, I will try and answer them myself. My team is extremely well equipped. They are all good guys. You will love to hear from them. They will take you through the system, and I will take a few sessions as well in the middle, and some particular sessions which are very dear to me, which I like. I will also do that. And like I said, I will try and come in for question answers wherever possible. So my request to you, sign up for this Walking Tall system, talk to your consultant. If you still have any further queries, they'll sort you out. They'll help you in terms of doing the payment mechanism, in terms of doing the procedure and everything else, right? So I wish you all the very best, and I hope that you're able to get onto your journey and make your millions and billions, whether through this system or something else. But get onto this journey, because the best time is always now. So thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.